My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. I just made it up and over this mountain off trail, and now it's time to begin looking for a campsite for tonight. Today, everyone, the weather is perfect. 65 degrees, mild humidity. There is a chance for rain later on, but it's not all that great. You never know. It might rain, it might not. Flip a coin. Your guess is as good as mine, in other words. I will say, though, it has been quite dark for the majority of this hike. So maybe it will rain. I guess we will find out together. What we need to do is to continue heading down this mountain. There's a spot in the forest that I've cleared out somewhat over time. That's where I want to camp at. And that is where we're going for this adventure. Now this is rather interesting, folks. I came across a section of the land here that has been disturbed. It's been dug up. This was done by a black bear. Considering the time of year and the elevation, we're getting pretty close to hibernation time for the black bear in this area. So they are digging up the forest looking for food. In this case, they're looking for grubs or whatever they can find in the soil, whatever may be hiding down there. Let me tell you, this bear has been active. The ground has been torn up everywhere. Take a look at this one hole here. You can actually make out the bear claws in the soil here, here, and here. I'm not sure how well it comes through on camera, but I could see it plain as day. I have yet to actually see a black bear in this area. I've come across some bear scat a time or two. Over the course of years, I may have encountered 2 or 3 black bear, roughly 5 to 10 miles away from here. Literally scaring the crap out of them. You wouldn't think that a human could scare a 400 to 500 pound black bear, but when you're out in the middle of nowhere, when these bears have no experience with mankind, they're scared. They'll run off, they'll leave a trail of poop across the ground. I kid you not. That doesn't mean they're not dangerous though. Especially if you encounter their cubs, they can be very, very aggressive. Anyways, my friends, I saw this, I thought it was interesting. We should keep on hiking. Again, it's kind of dark. I want to make it to camp and set up a tarp just in case rain is coming. Here's some more. That bear has been down here too, digging up the soil, tearing up the roots. This is the section of the forest that I've spent the last couple of years clearing out. And this is perfect. Tonight for this adventure, I will be camping in a hammock. That's right, folks. It's the once a year hammock campout. Whew. That feels so good. I started off the hike cool. By the time I finished it, I was hot, and now it feels incredible. I'll tell you what, folks. The sky is looking pretty dark that way. We should get our tarp up. Let's don't waste any time here. with the tarp being set up, you can see that I pitched it rather high. And that's because I want maximum airflow. I'm still not convinced that it's going to rain, so let's go high for now at least. If I have to, I can lower the walls down. My plan is, later on tonight, I will string up my hammock right here, tree to tree. Oh yeah, that is not bad. Not bad at all. Whew. That is something, folks. When it comes to my daily life, this is a inside look. Every single thing that I do, I go all out in, right? I don't do anything half-assed. For an example, as I'm filming this video, I'm giving it my all. I'm doing my best to make this the best adventure that I've ever filmed. The next time I go out, I'll do the same thing. If I'm mowing my neighbor's yard because he's elderly and he needs a hand, I'll do the best mowing job I possibly can. If I'm working on a deck, I'll do the best job I can. And when I make a cup of coffee, I'm gonna make sure it's the best cup of coffee in the entire world. Scratch that. I'll make sure it's the strongest cup of coffee in the entire world. Flavor-wise, really tasty. I really like this. This is great. Being someone who has to go all out, that's a good trait and also a bad trait. That trait comes from my mom. She is someone who very much, anytime that she got into something, she went all out. She was an incredibly talented woman. She could play, I don't know, 5 or 6 instruments. If there was something crafty that one could do, she can do it. She could knit, sew, she could paint, she can draw. She did porcelain for a long time, stained glass for a long time. Everything that she did, it was the best, the absolute best. And when she did anything, she went all out, right? For an example, when she learned how to play the harmonica, she didn't just have one, she had 10 harmonicas. She didn't just have one guitar, she had 20 guitars. So on and so forth. It's unbelievable. That is, without a doubt, a trait that I picked up from her. Speaking of my mother, she just recently passed away. I guess it was, well, 3 months ago. Fairly recent. Just the other day, we were able to get all of the family together so that we could spread her ashes. And it was awesome. It was great to hear everybody, talk about, like, the best traits to that woman, She impacted everyone's lives, without a doubt, in a positive way. With that being said, she was a tough woman to be around sometimes. I can't say that we always got along very well, and that's more than likely because we were so much the same. Very strong personalities, She was alpha, for sure. You could say that I'm the same. When you have two alpha personalities around each other for a long period of time, they tend to clash. Or at least that's my experience. So, oftentimes we did not get along. But with that being said, we were always there for each other. When we found out that she had brain cancer, the issues that we had forgotten, we patched things up and, well, it's all done now. On to the next adventure for her, and the rest of the family is just moving on and all that stuff. One absolutely incredible thing that I discovered after my mother passed away is this. She was a prepper. Over the course of the last, I'm not entirely sure how long, to be honest with you. I'm going to say 20 years, right? She was prepping for something. I honestly do not know. But when she passed away, we discovered that she had stored back, tens of thousands of dollars worth of food and supplies. The problem with all of that is, every single bit of it is bad. Every single bit of it is past the point of using it. I can't begin to tell you what we all stumbled upon now that we have to take care of her belongings and all that stuff. It was shocking, folks. And it goes back to what I've said before about prepping. Prepping really does not make sense. It really does not. You prepare for emergencies. You don't prep for the end of the world, nuclear bombs going off, or some sort of virus that's going to turn everybody to zombies or anything like that. The simple fact is, you and I, we don't have enough money to prepare for something like that. Unless you're a millionaire or billionaire, all of that is for nothing. And in this case, unfortunately, my mom spent so much money preparing for something, and all of it went straight to the dumpster. There's nothing that you can buy that is going to last forever as far as food goes. Freeze-dried, vacuum sealed, in canisters, in packages, and so on. It does not last forever. In fact, it does not last as long as you think it would. She had some stuff that would last 20 years. It was out of date. Couldn't use it. We tried it. We actually tried it. And it was flat out awful. Every single bit of it. That's why you have to prepare for likely situations, likely scenarios, weather, natural occurrences, and things like that. Realistic events. Events that you can actually plan for. Everything else, it is what it is. It's out of your control. So get out, live life, have fun, make amazing memories with your friends, with your family. Spend your money the way that you want to. Have some fun with it. Don't be careless, that's not what I'm saying. But you work hard, you deserve to create some good memories for yourself. I think about the money that she spent on that stuff. What she could have done before she died. Honestly, it hurts my heart a little bit. I feel bad for her. She was planning for something, and I wish I could have talked to her about it. But the thing is, nobody knew. My parents lived together, but they were divorced. Basically, the house is, it's an odd situation. The house is split down the middle. She lived on one side, he lived on the other, and they were best friends up until the end. But yet, he didn't know what she was doing, what she had stored back. So, I don't know. I wish I could have spoken to her about that. It's really easy for individuals, and this is the case for everyone, to watch videos on YouTube, read articles on the internet, and they can convince you to prepare for events and whatnot. There's a lot of people out there making a lot of money off of pushing those ideas, selling products. Even if you don't buy products from them, they're pushing that idea. They're making money. They're influencing. And that's what, unfortunately, happened to her. Plain and simple. And of course, I'm not talking bad about her. This is something that could happen to anyone, right? We are all of us, we're easily influenced by what you see. You might be watching this video and you're thinking, oh, I like that backpack. It's all influence, right? I'm not trying to influence you, but it's just how it goes. That's just a characteristic of humanity. We are easily influenced, that's for sure. Anyways, my friends, as I'm sitting here, I am enjoying the best breeze in the entire world. It is coming from the north and wrapping around towards the southeast. That is an unusual direction for this area. That is happening because there is a monster hurricane off the coast of North Carolina. And it is so large, even though it's not hitting land, it is influencing our weather. So right now, all of the wind is just wrapping around, just like this. And I tell you, it's amazing. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. I'm sitting here, just cool, comfortable, might put my sweater back on. And that, everyone, is nice. It is hard to believe that it's been almost 1 year since Hurricane Helene had come through the area. I almost lost my house in that storm. The backside of the house had water 6 feet high. In the front of the house, it was over a foot. It came within 1 inch of entering my home. How about that? We suffered some damage, but nothing that we could not repair. And as it stands now, everything's great. Everything's in fantastic shape. Still have the issues with the creeks and stuff, the culverts. But, you know, I've talked about that before and all the problems, but it is what it is. Eventually, it will get fixed, but that's got to be taken care of by the DOT, Department of Transportation. After the floodwaters receded, what was left behind was over a foot of dirt and mud. What do you do with that much mud, with that much dirt? Well, I will tell you. When someone gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? When someone gives you dirt, you level things out. You just move it from one spot to another. And luckily with my property, I was able to do that. The majority of the property is level, but there was this one section over in the corner where it dipped down pretty good. I was able to take all of that dirt that was surrounding and on top of the entire property and also underneath the house in the basement. I was able to take every single bit of that dirt and move it over into that corner, leveled it out, and now my yard is perfect. It looks fantastic. Thank you, Hurricane. Oh, I shouldn't say that. That's dumb. I certainly do not want to go through that again. The odds are, though, another storm is coming. Might not be this year or next, but it's coming. Most people wouldn't even think that hurricanes would come up our direction, but they do. As you all can see here, I've been gathering some firewood. It is cool enough tonight to actually have a fire. This, everyone, is going to be nice. The problem, though, is that most of this is soaking wet. This smaller stuff, it'll burn good, but the larger stuff, we'll see. Just about everything in this forest, folks, is wet and stays wet year-round. Already for the month, we've had about 13 inches of rain. We have had that much rain, and we're only 20 days into this month. It's been wet. The wet forest is one of the reasons why I got out here so late. Already, it's almost 5 o'clock. Everything is soaking wet. Everything is slick and dangerous. So I had to go slow. The forest out here is so dense. There's so much moss and so many big rocks and fallen trees. It takes forever to get out here. But luckily, the hike, the adventure, it is worth it, because this spot here is amazing. Beautiful. And soon, everyone, this entire area will be covered in snow. We're not far away from it now. It's not uncommon to have snow flying in the air in October at this elevation. It doesn't normally accumulate to anything, but it's possible. And just like that, my hammock setup is complete. I am now ready for tonight. We have just a little bit of sunlight left before it gets dark. We'll have dinner, we'll have the fire, and then we'll kick back and go to bed. What is so nice about this setup here is airflow. Tons of airflow from every which way. I like to do hammock camping once or twice a year, and that's about it. I used to, when I was younger, hammock camp all the time. Back then, hammocks were ultralight, right? Now, you can have an entire tent setup with a sleeping pad, sleeping bag, and it's lighter weight than all of this. Plus, as I've gotten older and my back issues have gotten worse, this is more and more uncomfortable to me. Everyone's different. Sometimes if you have back issues, a hammock, it's the choice, right? It's the right decision. It's going to give you the best night's sleep. You could be super comfortable. But for some back problems, this can actually make it worse. As I've gotten older, I tend to find that sleeping in a hammock does me more harm than good. But still, I like to get out. I like to do a hammock camp at least once a year. The issues with my back are the reasons why you don't see me doing that much hammock camping any longer. I am much more comfortable on the ground. Plus, I can go lighter weight typically. This sort of setup here is super minimal. A tarp overhead, nothing below the hammock. I have a top quilt, a pillow, and that is that. Luckily in this area, we don't have that many mosquitoes, so I can sleep out. I'll be fine tonight. But that's certainly not the case in most areas. I am lucky in that sense. Because outdoor gear has become so lightweight, tents, sleeping bags, sleeping pads, it's not common to see people out camping with hammocks. In fact, it's been years since I've seen someone hang in a hammock. It's been a long time. By the way, everyone, something I really like about this minimal sort of setup is this. Let's say heavy rain was coming my way. I can easily break this down, just like that. I can get it out of the way, put it up, and protect everything. All in the matter of seconds. For dinner tonight, we are having chicken teriyaki rice. This is from Peak Refuel. As it stands right now, it's going on to 8 p.m. The sun will be down completely here in just a little bit. I tell you everyone, I can't wait to have the fire tonight. It is already quite chilly, and it is going to be awesome. Finally, after a hot summer, it is time to start having some campfires again. This lantern here, this is from a company called Outtask. Some viewers sent this to me, and I have to say, I absolutely love it. It is amazing. It's a fantastic product. It works incredibly well, incredible battery life, and it's a product that I can easily recommend. The other day, I was informed that there's a new version of this product, the Outtask Lantern Light 2, or whatever they call it. The product is interesting, and I feel like the company has made a mistake with it. They've changed the design some. It's not that it's bulkier, but in a way it is. This new version is the perfect example of the company not knowing when to stop adding in features. Sometimes a lantern needs to be nothing more than a lantern, than a light source. For an example, the new light has a built-in window breaker. So if you ever get trapped inside of your car, you can use it to break the window. It's also so strong that it can be ran over by a tank and not break. Sometimes you don't need to go all out. Going back to what I said earlier about going all out, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes a light source needs to be nothing more than a light source. Without a doubt, dinner is good, but it's not mind-blowing good. It's good enough though. I mentioned some time back, now that I think about it, it was quite a while ago. I want to say it was back in the spring, but it could have been summer. Doesn't matter. I had gone to an orthopedic doctor to have my back looked at. I was having pain and mobility issues related to a car accident that I had when I was 16 years old. To keep this story nice and short, when I was 16 years old, I was in a car accident with my friend, and I broke my back in 2 places. Since that event took place, I've been having some back pain. And of course, as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. And it's gotten to the point where I can't sit for long periods of time. It's also one of the reasons why I'm not comfortable in a hammock night after night. It's why I can't sleep in a hammock night after night, I should say. I went to the doctor, they did some x-rays, some MRIs, and they could, of course, see where my back was broken previously. All of that had fused back together. In addition to those 2 injuries, I have 5 compressed discs, with 1 being severe on the right side. The one on the right side is giving me a lot of trouble. So we did spinal injections. It worked for 2 days. I had 2 days of no pain, and then it came back and it has not left. I had so much hope for those injections, but unfortunately, it did not work for me. I bring this up because ever so often I receive an email or a message, somebody asking about those injections. No, it didn't work, unfortunately. Not for me. It may work for you though. For a lot of people it does. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's just how it goes. Now everyone, I'm wondering about what I should do next. Because it's getting to the point where it's a problem. I really don't want to do surgery though. I don't want to take the downtime that's required to recover. The thing is like I can walk around just fine. I could do what I need to do when I'm out backpacking and whatnot. The thing that gives me the most trouble is driving. After 30 minutes of driving, I begin to feel it. After an hour, I'm in pain. By the time I get to the parking lot so I can hike up the mountain here, I'm just about ready to vomit because the pain is so bad. Getting out of the vehicle, it's like the best thing in the entire world. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Do you all have any ideas, any suggestions? Comment down below. I've done inversion tables and all that stuff. It helps temporarily, but it doesn't, of course, fix the problem. So, while I'm doing it, I feel fine. Maybe even, I don't know, 6 hours afterwards I feel fine. But the pain always comes back. I figured I would ask you all for some ideas and suggestions. You all are a smart bunch. My viewers are the best, the brightest, the most beautiful and handsome. No joke. Seriously. Other channels and their viewers, you all though, amazing. Talking about my back problems brings up a good point. Just about everybody is dealing with something. And if they're not, eventually they will. That's just kind of how it works. My suggestion for you, if you're dealing with something, or maybe in the future if you do, don't let your handicap dictate who you are. We all have issues, we have to deal with them, work around them. I've seen time and time again where a diagnosis can become someone's identity, where it shouldn't. And I'm talking about physical, I'm talking about mental, learning disabilities, and so on. Just because you have an issue, those issues, those complications, those handicaps, they do not dictate who you are. It's just a trait. Nothing more, nothing less. This firewood here is going to go super, super fast. You can see how much moisture's in this. That's not smoke, that's steam, everybody. Now this is nice. We have a little bit of a breeze coming through the forest, so it's cool to my back, warm to the front. Exactly the way it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? While this looks impressive, it's not all that impressive. And the reason why is because the majority of this flame here is from the little stuff that I put on there. I have lots of little pieces of wood, not much big stuff. The majority of the big stuff is just too wet to burn. You can see here how hard of a time the larger pieces of wood are having as far as burning goes. You can hear the moisture burning out of this wood. This, everyone, is a great way to wrap up this evening. A nice warm fire in the quiet forest. No one around for miles and miles. This is exactly the way that I like to camp, right here. Some people, they need or they want to camp with others. I get it. It's lone wolf for me, baby. Lone wolf all the way. The other night, I was talking to a viewer through Facebook, and he was talking about how he's really nervous about going out camping by himself. And he said that he was surprised by that because he was a soldier, or he was a retired soldier. And I told him that just because you're nervous about going out solo doesn't mean anything. Also, just because you're a soldier doesn't mean that you know how to go camping. Being a soldier, they don't teach you this sort of stuff. It is very much different. Being in the military and camping, it's not the same thing. Completely different skill sets. But going back to being nervous about camping by yourself, that is completely normal. And for most people, what's in their mind, what's making them so reluctant is fear. Fear of the unknown. It might be other people. It might be animals. For a lot of people, it's the monsters that they're conjuring up in their heads. Whatever it is, whatever you're worried about, you just have to figure out a way to move past it. Take baby steps into the solo adventuring. I promise you, you'll be glad that you did. I love camping with other people. It could be a lot of fun. But oftentimes, it's more fun by myself. More rewarding, I should say. It is time to turn in, everyone. Already, it's getting late. Look at that. You could see my breath. It's so chilly tonight. Right now, I am warm and comfortable. I'm not even covered up. I'll probably keep my jacket on. But folks, my plan is simple. I am going to bed. Pretty tired. Already, I don't know, it's about 10:30 or so. It's getting late. I will see you all in the morning. If it does begin to rain, of course, I'll bring you all back. But if not, I'll see you at 5 a.m. Good night, everyone. Sleep good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. 5 o'clock came quickly. It looks like it's pretty foggy at the moment. It has been raining some, very, very lightly. Not even hard enough to turn the camera on for. But I have to say, folks, I slept pretty good last night. Yes, I did. Talk about a wet morning, folks. As I mentioned, I slept good last night. It was a quiet night. Nothing in the forest was moving. I didn't hear anything. What I saw, though, was a ton of lightning flashes. There was a storm far off, 50 miles plus. It was just non-stop flashing. It was a pretty cool way to go to bed, actually. I got quite the light show. Now, everyone, I am ready for a cup of coffee. What about you? You want one? Come on. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is incredible. If only the Germans had this in World War II, they might have taken over the entire world. They should have been drinking this instead of doing meth. Big mistake. I'm glad they didn't have this, though. Anyways, folks, when it comes to this combination here, we have some Taster's Nasty, some 3-in-1, and something else. I think it's funny. I've warned you all over and over again about the side effects of drinking coffee this strong. You're going to burst out with a beard in less than 4 hours, right? What surprises me is how many emails and messages I get from women wanting to know what I'm doing here, what I'm mixing in. It's like they want a full-grown beard. You know what I mean? Seriously. Anyways, everyone, it is a very, very foggy morning up here. I mean, visibility is extremely limited. It's about 50 feet, maybe a little bit less than that. It's not far. tell you what, everybody, I slept good in the hammock, but my back is sore this morning. As I said yesterday, for some it's going to be a blessing, for some it's going to be a curse. It just depends on what your issues are. But without a doubt, this setup here allowed me to go very, very minimal. I have a very small tactical style backpack with me. This was a nice setup here. And we were blessed with excellent weather. This morning it's wet. At times raining just a little bit, but all in all, this has been a fantastic trip. For my yearly hammock camp, you could not ask for better conditions or a better spot. As far as the time goes, it's a little bit after 6 o'clock. I could see some light up there in the sky. It won't be too long, and we'll be hiking out of here. The forecast for today, there's a slight chance of rain. Yesterday was a very high chance of rain, but it was just hit and miss. But in a few days, it sounds like it could be a washout. And if that's the case, I'm going to do an overnight trip at Lone Wolf Mountain, and we will waterproof test a bunch of tents. Cross your fingers. Hopefully we can. I have all sorts of questions about a bunch of shelters, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let me ask you all, do you like the hammock camp? Comment down below. If so, what is your favorite hammock? And just like that, everyone, the fog is gone. Just as fast as it went away, it came back. And I think it's foggier than it was before. Everyone, it is time for me to pack up. It will be light enough here in a minute to hike out, so let's begin breaking everything down. My friends, it is time for me to say goodbye. Thank you all so very much for joining me for this adventure. I really do appreciate it. For now, I have this fleece on, but here in a minute, I may have to put on my rain jacket. Light rain is beginning to fall, which explains why this heavy fog has moved in. If you enjoyed this adventure, please hit the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. That's a great way to support this channel. If you want to join the Wolf Pack, you can do so on Patreon and here on YouTube. Oh yeah. Until next time, everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.